to preface, I did talk to Turtle earlier, not earlier
Mhm.
today, but earlier before I messaged you. So all the
Correct.
information that I'm going to be asking you about, it comes from
From
screenshots that he has
himself.
provided for me. And yeah, are you aware of that server?
Yeah, I'm well aware of it. Yeah,
Okay, so
I
all
spoke
of
to
it's
him.
gonna come from there.
Yeah, so like I also spoke to him like about I think like was it 2 3 hours ago. So like I spoke to him about it too, and he was just like, oh I told him that you wanted to interview me on this, and I was just like, yeah, I said yes. So so he's already aware that I've been speaking to you as well. So I was just like, yeah, okay. But yeah,
Okay. Well, the only reason why I'm honestly care about it is because I'm thinking
uh,
about the art of trolling. Like, I know we come from different communities. You're six Erican, I'm LTG.
yeah,
But recent developments in my own community and the ones that I saw here, it makes me
uh,
think: how should we be trolling our lol cows effectively? So that's
that's yeah,
mm,
that's a good question. That's a very good question
no, honestly,
because
honestly,
like if you want my spin on it when it comes down personally, like it's more or less there to me. There's no right way. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna start off there. There's no right way of doing this shit, you know. And in the end of the day, I know we all doing it for our own reasons, you know. We all have our reasons, you know. But the one thing that I personally see from my personal experience from the Six Erican universe is everybody coming at each other's throats for how we troll. You understand what I'm saying? And yeah,
yeah.
you know, people may agree to disagree with certain shit, but we shouldn't be fucking straying away from each other or dividing each other from this shit because there
See,
really isn't no right way.
there isn't a right
Mhm.
way, but I feel like there's a wrong way. But we'll get
Yeah,
into that as I ask a few questions.
absolutely.
All right. So the main thing that I am concerned about, or I want to know,
Mhm.
starting at the beginning of his server, are you
Uh
familiar with Archangel?
oh, Kyoto?
Yes, Kyoto.
Yeah, yeah, I'm aware of him.
And are you familiar with the conversation that took place between you, Turtle, and him?
Yeah, yes, I am well aware.
Okay.
I I'm well aware of it. And to me, like the whole thing, you know, it was me personally from the beginning. It was me just reaching out and having my own personal idea to being like, you know what, this is my way of. I don't
Well, real quick before you
I don't know if
continue,
this. Yeah, yeah,
let,
good.
let, let me clarify for the audience. What we're talking about is in the DMs, in at least the screenshots provided, you were trying to inquire about a way to hack into Erican's computer. Is this correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that is correct.
Now please continue.
Absolutely. I was gonna go for context for everybody as far as this go. I was gonna go ahead and pull some really stupid and deplorable things that I'm pretty sure the community or any type of community in general wouldn't seek approval of. But I was gonna go out of my complete way to pretty much just Trojan horse him basically. So basically infect his PC and break and just completely break down his OS and all this shit using like a Trojan or some shit like that. But that is super illegal. So I went. I not only backed out of the situation, but when Kyoto started threatening to send, Six Eric in my name and all these screenshots, I was just like, "What happened, bro? We were all supposed to be all aboard together, and and then just because you got into a disagreement with Violet, you just said, you know what? All right, I'm gonna walk away." And then and then Turtle invites fucking was it Kyoto to the Six Revolt to just proceed on with the drama. So
Wait,
I went and yeah, so I went
you.
and completely mhm.
I'm so sorry because what you said contradicts what I heard from Turtle. So you're saying that Kyoto threatened to leak all the information and give it to Six Erican to get you in trouble,
Correct.
essentially.
Yeah, essentially, yes. So that was also in one of his streams. I do believe it was like a year and a half back or some shit like that. So that's open information right then and there. You feel me?
Mhm.
So in the sense, I was just like, yo, you know what? Since this was supposed to originally be in secrecy, I only told a handful of players in this when I was going to plan to do this. I only told Turtle, Kyoto, a couple of my constituents that are a part of the Six American universe that I'm not gonna put out names because privacy reasons.
Of
I don't
course.
want their names being I don't want their names being out there unless it's their consent or if they want to be out there. But either
Respect.
way, he comes back. It was a Turtle comes back and invites him back to the Six Revolt. And me, I'm just generally just speaking my mind and I'm venting out and I'm just saying, hey, look, it's not a big deal on y'all guys' end because I'm taking all the responsibility. So in the end of the day, if everything really goes to shit, if the shit hits the fan, I'm literally gonna be the one to take the big hit here because nobody's gonna be affected but me. And then from the back and forth I remember we had with him, he was like, what risk, what consequences are you really gonna take? I was like, bro, don't you see the conversation I'm trying to do with you in the GC? That's exactly what I'm referring to. And then moderators removed them from proceeding on with the arguments. So that's what happened. But the
Okay.
threat, but just to clear things up, the threat wasn't imminent until like what, 2 or 3 months after that incident, if I remember correctly, from those screenshots.
Let me see. From at least when he posted it, the screenshots were dated December 10th.
Yeah. So somewhere around that. So I would say like around March, April is when he started threatening to leak the combos. So I was just like, okay, no problem. Because to be personally frank with you, I didn't have a problem. I already said, you know what? What are you gonna leak, really? If I'm no longer planning to do it, then what are you gonna leak? It's all information.
Okay. So
But
is
yeah,
that so that's what happened with Kyoto. So I understand that. I can understand why you would be not happy with him, especially if he's starting to do that shit to you.
correct. And more or less, I'm more now since like this whole incident happened and shit like that. I'm more or less more calm about it and more reserved about it because I could understand, I could understand where the gentleman is coming from, but I also come see from where I'm coming from. I'm taking all of these risks and bar none, without asking no questions. All I want is for you to point me in the direction. Nothing more, nothing less. That's all I asked.
Okay. I understand. All right. So then but that's with Kyoto. So then let me pivot it back to
Mhm.
Turtle. Because this is
Correct.
mainly about how Turtle's server got nuked. At least the first one, the shell.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that your beef started with him after the DMs, once the DMs were closed, at least with Kyoto. But what was
Mm-hmm.
your reasoning with how you changed with Turtle? Because via the
Okay.
screenshots, if you guys were good before, I see the back and
Mm-hmm.
forth you guys have had, and I see that it's been heated. So I'm curious
Yeah.
about that situation.
Okay. So like me and Turtle were originally very cordial, and for context, I was a fan. I was a fan of Turtles. I was actually, I was one of those guys be like, yo, W Turtle, blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like I was once a fan, but then as I started, interacting with him throughout the entire time, I was also giving him personal advice. I was like, hey, look, listen, bro, like if this is really bothering you this much, my man, take a couple of days off, right? Take a couple of days off, cool yourself off, bro. Take some personal time to yourself. Do what you need to do. If it's school, if it's personal life with your family, do what you got to do. Take like 5 or 6 days off. And then during the agreement of me taking the server for the next 5 to a week, that's what it was, what we agreed on. That he wouldn't go into any VC related to Six American, any stream to Six American, or any of the sort. He would basically not show his face in any Six American stream. And at the time, I was really more consistent with hate watching him because I was watching him almost every fucking day, like a regular LTG watcher. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So I knew I was watching. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't even last a day. So not only that, you he went out of his way to talk to one of my friends as well while he was drunk and telling him, hey, you know what, you should leave this server. basically just influencing the person while they're not in the right state of mind. And
Someone
I told
mentioned
him, I
that.
was like,
This is Rybar
yeah,
we're talking about, correct?
correct, correct. And to me, that was just like, that was more fuel to the fire that I've already had, because I was already torn in my head at the time. I'm just sitting there like looking at his server, being the owner of his server, and torn between, either nuking this shit to bejesus and back to send a message, or completely trying to talk to this man cordially. I chose the first option. And what I did in retaliation to the first thing, it was one of the agreements that we had, is I wasn't able to bring Violet into the server. I wasn't able to bring Rat King to the server. I wasn't able to bring any of these people that he was currently beefing with in the server. The fact that I even have to name them, it's even so. But I did, and I confessed to that, because in my head, I felt like it was all justified right then and there. I was just like, hey, you know what? If you're not going to even last a freaking day, you know what I'm saying? Then why should I even take care of your goddamn server? Why even oblige your wishes? You know, if you're not gonna oblige your mind, and that's why I did it.
So was it mainly because he betrayed what he said he was going to do and he went back to a Six Erican server, or was it because of the Rybar situation? Because the way
It wa-
everything was made out, at least when I was reading it, it seemed that the Rybar situation was really the tipping point, as you said, but it seemed like as if that was the main reason. I
no, it
didn't know
wasn't the
about this.
main. Yeah, it wasn't the main reason, because I'm just like sitting there in the back of my head. I'm just like, I'm trying to be forgiving, but I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. I'm from the Bronx. I'm no Mr. Rogers, my man. I grew up tumultuous. I had a tumultuous childhood. And frankly, for me to even try to be, that type of person, it takes a lot of me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like, in the sense, I just was like, yo, you know what? All right, you going to his, was it his GC and VCs day of. Then not only that, it for me, I guess you could call it built up. The first thing that really pissed me off initially was him going into the VCs. The second thing is when I found out that he was influencing other fucking people to leave other servers to go to his. So to consider it more like built up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. I can understand that.
Because I was just
So
like, you know what, I'm tired.
I can see how it
But
could
yeah,
be a lot.
mhm.
Okay. So that is fair. So th- after that, after you invited them to the server, you essentially nuked it.
Yeah, I essentially nuked it while he was calling me.
Mm. Yeah, no, I saw that. I saw that as well. He's in his confession. He says that he wasn't aware, at least while you guys were in that call. But I don't think that really
That
matters,
it
huh?
really doesn't. Yeah, it really doesn't matter, because at the time I was in Violet's server talking to Violet. Because this is the first. I'm gonna be frank with you. This is the first time I ever nuked or deleted a server. So like, first time for everything, right?
No,
So I was
fair,
getting,
fair.
yeah. So I was getting instructions from another person.
Okay, so that's the whole story with the first server. Thank you for clearing
Mm-hmm.
up at least your side of it.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the second part, at least the Violet part of the nuking of his server?
Oh yeah, I am. I'm fully aware of that. So, like, what I've ascertained from the whole thing, I've already personally told Turtle, hey, look, listen, when I first came back and we were first trying to patch things up, I was like, hey, look, mod me up and I'll try to like clear up the clutter slash chaos in here. I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna leave this all at a clean slate, just the same way we agreed. I'm gonna leave this all on a clean slate, and that's it. So once he modded me and everything like that, him and, was it a Violet, were going back and forth about a role and everything like that. Because this is basically what I remember. This whole fight was all about a role, and basically Violet feeling like the role was taken away. Then not only that, people were she was just feeling like, oh, you're giving this person the server, which was, his name is Kudro. He giving him the same terms as me, or was it as me, but he's co-owner or some shit like that. But anyway, That's the reason why. And then also they found out that he accidentally invited Amelia into the server. So that pretty much, it's like putting your hand in a pack of piranhas filled with blood. You know what I'm saying? It literally just started having everybody going against him at that point. There was only a handful of people that were on his side at the end of the whole thing. You know? But I understand. I like from Turtle's standpoint, even though I'm not very cordial with him right now, I understand from Turtle's standpoint because I feel some form of responsibility here. Because I was one of the people that ostracized him after, you know, the second server was nuked and said and done, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much what I whole ascertained because I woke up to the whole thing, and then people were just trying to fill me in.
No, I understand that because I do. I've seen everything here, at least from Turtle's perspective. Kudrow, the way I'll be honest, the way he was acting towards Violet in those
Mm,
screenshots, that would set anybody off. I get that,
yeah.
so I understand at least her anger about it.
Mm.
But you feel responsible because they had the idea, or because you nuked the first server? So any nuking of Turtle's server afterward, you're going to kind of feel like, oh, I started
No,
this
it
chain.
no, it wasn't because I nuked the initial server. It was more or less of like, oh, okay, if you want to play it that way, and then you guys don't, and you don't want to be, and you don't want to give your mods any clarification, because at the time I think we had like 8 or 9 mods at the time, and he was planning on cooking on something, and he wasn't giving any clarity to anyone. So people took that as, oh, okay. So since you don't want to give any clarity, or you don't want to give Violet her role back, so everybody's just going to completely turn against you. And that's literally what happened. And Violet personally came on to me while I was in the VC, and he was like, I like, look, I understand your shit with Turtle and everything like that. I wouldn't hold it against you if you say to go. And I already told her personally, I was like, I was already finding a reason to go because personally at the time, I'm already getting doxxed during this whole fucking shebang. You understand what I'm saying?
You're getting
Like I
doxxed?
got this first. Yeah, I'm getting doxxed by one of these 6 arrogant fucking glazers. You know, I'm not gonna put out her name because that's what she wants. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I'm being doxxed, and I'm letting everybody know in the server. You know, like, hey, look, I got doxxed. Blah 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 blah. You know, so I was already like 1 foot out of the 6 arrogant universe at one point in my life, and before I completely stepped away and did part of the nuking because I didn't do it entirely this time. I literally personally told Turtle multiple times. I told multiple people in that server as well at the time, like, hey, look, I might have to step away because I feel like I endangered my family. I feel like I endangered myself. So personally speaking, I think I need to walk away from this because it got too far. This person literally just doxed my entire family, my dead sister, my mother, my stepmom, my biological father, you know, like almost my entire family. And I feel some form of responsibility / guilt for that. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
I'm sorry, Kage. That's terrible.
Yeah, you good. Oh man, it's all good. I'm pretty sure the reason why Turtle didn't tell you this other part is because of my personal privacy, which I respect you for that, Turtle. If you once you see this, bro, thank you, thank you for keeping my privacy. By the way, even though I hate you, thank you.
That's respect. I'll agree. That is 100% respect. But I understand your point more. Truly, I do. So then
I
let
was
me
like, I
ask
went out.
this.
Mhm.
Danny
Good.
Banter, he explained at least his reasonings to why he was unhappy with Turtle. And I want to discuss them with you.
I, I used to be this person's friend. I used to, just like Turtle, bro. Me and him came from the same place. We met from the same place, the Six Arrogant server. You understand what I'm saying? I met
Mm-hmm.
most of these people in Six Arrogant server. You know, very early when OCD was coming, coming up and coming early. You know, and these people know me very personally. You know, They know what I'm about when it comes down to the 6 Erican server. I'm just here to see a means to an end, you know. And I told them clearly, hey, listen, I'm not gonna, what's the word? I'm not gonna get at y'all for how y'all guys, associate yourselves, or more or less have a hive mind of yourselves. But I'm not gonna be this hive mind anymore either, because that's what it really blows down to, and boils down to, is you being a yes man. You're trying to high road me based off of my shit and what I went through. Let it be known. Let the public be known. I got pushed to where I was. I didn't want to be this. You know? And it's the same thing with him. I just more like, when it comes down to that side of those people, I'm simply deviating myself away from them as well. Because I personally see what Turtle has saw is the biasness. And that's where I'm gonna leave it at. It's bias.
So if you can see at least how Turtle is seeing, then is there
For now,
ever a
yeah.
chance? Would there ever be a chance of reconciliation?
For Turtle or Balls, or either one.
Turtle.
No, I personally, hey, I already know you're gonna see this, bro. Personally speaking, after you try to dig up dirt for my ex-girlfriend, that was literally like the straw on the camel's back for me, brother. You literally stabbed me in the back multiple times, bro. Then you expect me to smile after that? Look in the mirror, bro.
Yeah, very personal. I see. Oh. Sorry I had to come to that level, honestly.
Nah, I hear you, man. I had to come to that level with multiple people, because I'm pretty sure there are going to be multiple people that are going to watch this video and still going to find a way to try to crucify me. And
It's
I'm just going to
possible.
let that be known.
Well, my plan is to make sure that I just show all the facts. I want you guys to
Mm-hmm.
be able to speak your mind, say the truth how you see it, and let the public decide. Because ultimately, what I'm really curious about is the art of trolling. So bringing it back to that, you
Yeah.
said before that you think that there's not really a right way to do it, which I agree. There's not really a right way to troll, because ultimately you are harassing somebody, like at its
Yeah.
core. That's what it is.
Yeah. Trolling in itself is a form of harassment that, yeah, sure, we do it, you know, may it be a prank, or may it be something to fuck with your fucking friends with. But when it comes down to a certain place, in a certain way you do it, it's really too far. Take me, for example. Okay? And this is, I can only speak from my own experiences. When people went out of their way to reveal my information that I didn't had no consent in being revealed, other than to my personal constituents, that was far enough. That to me is far. When you dox people, when you reveal certain information that could also potentially get them, harm them, or hurt them, that's too far.
Agreed. So you would say that that's the wrong way of trolling then in those
Yeah, that's the
situations.
wrong. It's the wrong way of throwing. You could fuck with somebody's mind and not completely, mind crush them. You know what I mean? It could just simply be just that, a prank. Don't let it get any further than that.
It could be. We have to remember, not a lot of people are mentally untouchable. Some people are going to be affected even by just a simple prank.
Oh, of course. That's life, brother. That is life. Anybody in this world is not safe. You understand what I'm saying? But it's when you prey on the innocent is what makes you know better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, we can agree on that. 100%. Biggest fact right there.
Hmm.
Well, in terms of questions about the server, that's all I have. So thank you for answering all my questions about that.
Absolutely,
Well,
man.
before I let you go, tell me, is there anything that you want to say to anybody listening right now?
Well, all right. My name is KageMusha 396, and my message to y'all is don't let it get too far. Think twice about your actions before you truly take them and possibly ruin somebody's life. That's all I'm gonna say on it.
Okay, Lucia. Thank you, Famo. I appreciate it.
No, no problem. Thank you for having me, man.